Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Attila, and today I will talk to you about my journey into the quantified self and how I used nap and relaxation to improve my life. At the end of the presentation, by the end of this presentation, I really would like to convince you that you also should include one 20-minute nap or relaxation into your daily schedule, no matter how important or how busy you are. But first, let me introduce myself. I'm 32 years old and I lived for long in Székesfehérvár, and back in those old days I was still young and cute. Nowadays I'm doing project management and I really love TED Talks. I'm an enthusiastic Toastmaster and volunteer. Even when I started college, I found a student organization and I volunteered so much that I forgot to get my degree. But that doesn't really matter. And nowadays, I'm again doing some voluntary work with startups, with Toastmasters. And strangely enough, my quantified self journey started out of misery. 2 years ago, my life really sucked. I was overworked, I was stressed, I was angry, and I didn't really know what to do, how to improve. So I decided that first, I want to understand where I am. I started to write down how I feel on a daily basis, but not in a journal, more in a simpler, numerical way. I decided that each day I will write down what my mood is on a scale of 1 to 10, and how energetic I feel, also on a scale of 1 to 10, which is not really objective, but it was good enough for me at that time. I also wanted some more objective measurement, and I decided that I will measure my resting heart rate because I read in some article that that is a good enough indication of overall health. The lower, the better. And what I found in the first few months is that my life really sucks. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, a mood of 3.2 combined with an energy level of 2.9 means like you are Darth Vader, you want to scorch the universe, you are just too exhausted to do that. Something had to be done. And this kind of personalized feedback was a very strong motivator me to do some improvements. And first, I quit smoking and I started to exercise regularly. I started with running. And I kept these measurements. And what I found was a really great improvement. There were some low points that mostly related to my work, but still, overall, I improved to above 5 with my mood, which meant that I joined the light side of the force. But you see, those low points really disturbed me. So 1 year ago, I decided to make a bigger career change. This is when I moved from Székesfehérvár to Budapest. Murphy played with me a little bit, so it was a bumpy road, but finally I could do this career change. I found a new company, I found new communities, new gangs for me, startups, Toastmasters, and I really managed to stabilize my life. On a scale of 1 to 10, my mood was like 7.4 on average. But last September, I was thinking, if these are meaningful numbers, and for me these are meaningful numbers, then increasing them certainly makes a lot of sense. And I was thinking, what else could I do? And I was reading about how important sleep is, what kind of effects daily naps and relaxations have. I also considered some other alternatives, changing diet and so on, but sleep and nap and relaxation seemed the most simple and cost-efficient way. And it came with a promise to have improved mood, improved physical and mental performance, even increased learning abilities. Now, after reading 4 or 5 articles, I was convinced. But of course, there is more to it. So if you want to go into the scientific details, you can read more. So what I did is first, before this little experiment, I tried to stabilize my daily schedule to filter out some of the big variables. And in terms of the tooling, I kept it really simple. Back then, I didn't know that there are hundreds and thousands of self-tracking applications and gadgets, so I only used one application to track my heart rate, and of course I kept my data in spreadsheets. And during these few weeks, I measured my resting heart rate just after waking up, and I measured my mood and energy level 6 times a day, just to see where it gets me. And to my surprise, I really saw a nice improvement. A mood of 8.6. That's like almost being Yoda. And just with 20 minutes a day. And apart from improving these indexes and reducing my resting heart rate, I also noticed that I don't have to consume as much coffee as before. Nowadays, I rarely drink more than 2 cups of coffee, while 2 years ago I was really drinking 6 or 7 cups just to keep me awake. Also, it's easier for me to wake up. Sometimes I even wake up before the alarm clock hits, which is a really cool feature. And I noticed that my whole life, my whole day is more balanced. So I can keep working from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. without being exhausted or overstressed. But still, 8.6 is still not perfect. So I'm still looking for some improvement areas. Maybe it will be another career change. Maybe I will start dancing, or I will learn how to paint just to boost my creativity. But in terms of quantified self, or almost quantified self, I want to learn, for example, how to lucid dream. It will be hard to measure, but it will be a really cool feature to control my own dreams, if it works. I have no idea how I will do it, so if you have any experience with this field, please give me some recommendations. I also want to do a very short and simple experiment on how sitting versus standing affects performance. So what happens if I sit for 8 hours and work, and what happens if I use some kind of standing desk configuration. In early February, we started a little project with some friends where we really want to combine as much self-tracking data as possible and summarize it into one simple health score that might give you a good indication about how you live your life. Maybe it will be not a score, but a simple visualization. The point here is to simplify all this data that we can capture. I also want to play around with biosensors. Adam was kind enough to borrow his TrueSense kit for me, which is a really cool EEG and EKG kit with an accelerometer. And I have to admit, maybe it's too hardcore for me, but eventually I will figure it out. And what I forgot from this slide is that I also want to learn NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. I have no idea what this is or how that works, but I heard from many places that it really works. Maybe you could give me the name of the guy? Oh, okay, that's great. Even my ex-boss, ex-program manager recommended it to me, and he was a really funny and lovely guy. But for this presentation, it's just enough to remember that please do one 20-minute nap or relaxation every day. Thank you. Happy to hear your questions.
Have you tried to take any chemical substances to improve your sleep?
No.
Okay. It's a field to explore.
I don't want to take chemical substances.
I mean, what about food? So if you could take some, seeds or some natural foods into your stomach before sleep, and that would improve your sleep. Would you?
Yeah,
consider it?
that might be an option. Although I don't really like to play with my diet, and honestly, I would not be, let's say, disciplined enough to do measurements and logging of my food. So this is the only way I didn't consider this.
Okay, I think it's a.
And the last time I take some substances, it was in the form of smoke.
Okay, just one advice: just try to experiment with hydration. So drink a good cup of water before bed, and it helps tremendously.
I actually drink water with lemon, with actual lemon.
Okay, brilliant.
Maybe it's pervert, but I really like it.
Okay, and also take some, I don't know, almonds or
that's also my diet. So.
Okay, cool. Because when you're sleeping, your brain is recovering, and you have to fuel it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. The mic is coming.
I just want to ask that when do you usually do sport? Like when are you going to run? In the mornings or afternoons or before sleep or?
It depends on the weather. In the last few months, so since November, I didn't really run, but I started to do kettlebells. So I have this ritual 3 times a week, do 1 hour kettlebell, then maybe 10-15 minutes swimming just to relax, and then do a little bit sauna and steam and jacuzzi. I call it the mini wellness treat because I deserve it.
Anyone else? I see you. I'm coming.
What were the unexpected challenges that you had to face when you started to take naps?
Well, I tried to keep the time, the date of these naps or relaxations fairly stable, but at least once or twice a week I need to go into the office, which is a regular office setting, so it would be very strange to sleep there. So on those days I waited until I got home and then took my little break.
Are these 20 minutes a nap, sleeping, or they can be meditations as well?
I either did 20-minute sleep or around 12-minute meditation. And the reason for this is that if I don't sleep, then I cannot sit in one place for more than 10-12 minutes doing nothing. And I know that meditation is not doing nothing, but it feels